Wowsker, wowsker, I'm in the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Not the Ford Mustang GT, but the electric, unbridled Ford Mustang Mach-E. And boy, I tell you, it's in so many ways, it's so dangerous. Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV. I'm on the road up here near Baltimore working today, and I am going to be going by the Ford dealer to pick up my new Mustang GT 2024 that I've modded. And here I'm driving around in the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT performance package, and it's so dangerous because this motorcycle, you think I'm, yeah, wow, this motorcycle, I've been talking about motorcycles so much, even for me, this car is so fast. This Mach is just so fast, and wow. But, you know, I get it. If you watch my channel, it's like, yeah, but it's a freaking dumbass electric vehicle. Right. But the thing is just wicked fast. So I'm going to drive around this thing, and then I'm going to jump in my Mustang, and I'm going to be like, wow, what happened to the power? I mean, wow, am I? I mean, this is all, you know, electric. You don't have to stick shift or anything. It's just a one-pedal driving. But look at this here. I'm already at 137-mile range. Since I left my house this morning, I had a whopping 200 miles. And by the time I get in today, if I was to drive this back home, I'd probably be down to like 50 miles. So, but the good news is I'm going to pick up my Ford Mustang GT, and I'm dropping off this car because it has so many recalls. And this car that I bought for my wife, who for the most part doesn't drive it, this car is now close to 2 years old with a whopping 3,300 miles on it. And apparently this car has a ton of recalls on it. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me just drive this up, drop it off, and then that way I can pick up my Ford Mustang GT, and I can have my fun time. So I'm just doing a little preview before we get there to let you know what's going on as the day begins on the Ford Mustang GT Vapor Blue modded package on the car. And you get to experience some road time with me driving the car. And does the car handle like it used to? And the thing is, that car is so new, I barely have driven it. Will I be able to tell the real differences of that car, being that I've modded that car out? I mean, so it will be interesting to see if I get the wow factor, which is the Coons saying, I think. The Coons organization used to be Crystal Coons, the wow factor. So, anyways, but in the Mustang Mach-E, it really is a fun car. And in the unbridled mode, so you have all these different modes in this car on how the car will perform. And I'm now in the high performance mode. And it really does give this car a lot of excitement as far as just how fast it is. I mean, it just rocks down the road. So, but I get on EV people, they want that Ice Age engine in front of you or behind you, and you want that noise. And you just don't get that out of this car, but you do get a little bit. I mean, you actually do get a little bit of a noise out of this car going down the road with the wheel motors. And here we come up to, you come off the line in this light, but here's the thing. I'll show you. You can go right here, and it shows you your different drive modes. So I'm in the unbridled, that's the highest performance. Engage is just your average driving. Whisper if you really want to try to conserve energy. So, all right, here we come. I love the one pedal driving because the car holds itself. It's on a hold mode. So here we are. So I mean, this car just, you know, I'm just not going to even push it to the pedal to the metal, but this thing just gets up the road so easily. So is it going to take away my like wow factor on my GT 5.0 480 horsepower car feeling? But I'm going to have that exhaust note. So come on, gotta have the exhaust note. All right. Stay tuned as we get closer to Coons Baltimore Ford. I really like the Waze technology where it really helps you get around town. Maybe out there it doesn't have the Waze, can't emphasize enough. It's a great product to have for you to use your car. And I have so many of the new cars that the Apple Play's incorporated into the technology so I can see everything right here in a big display. People have older cars, that isn't going to happen. You're going to have to put your phone up in a cradle and then turn on the Waze to be able to see your phone with the little map. It burns up a lot of your energy on your phone. That's the only downside to it. It really does suck a lot of power out of your phone, so you have to have it plugged in. But the Waze technology, I think it's really a good product to have. If anybody out there doesn't know what it is, it's W-A-Z-E. Here we are on the Beltway, and boy, it's a rarity. You know, this Beltway, and it's not just totally like locked down. And so, stay tuned. And another thing. So this car has the BlueCruise. So right here, I just turned it on. So now the car is doing its own thing. It's driving itself right now. If you look, this thing will start catching on that I'm not paying attention. But look at this here. See, the car is driving itself. Which, even for me, do I trust it? I don't. Do I let the wheel go? But for the most part, I really am always within hand's reach of grabbing this steering wheel to overtake the car, because I just don't feel confident that these cars can really do what they do, even though Tesla has this here you go. So it tells you to put your hands on the wheel, but so there it makes a noise. But sometimes it just turns off and it doesn't alert you that the hands-free is no longer working. It's especially my Ford Power Boost. That's it's just very aggravating, because that car and that truck, you get really comfortable in that truck, and all of a sudden you don't have hands-free steering. You don't even know it. If you're not paying attention, all of a sudden, like, whoa, this truck's driving off the road because the hands-free is off. So Ford needs to do a better job of alerting you once the hands-free turns off. It should have a big bell, vibration, something needs to go on. So here it is. It's back on, and it's on the adaptive cruise, where I can set my adaptive cruise. And now, here it's pedal-free driving, hands-free driving, and which is really nice for me, that I live on the road day in, day out of my life. So for this type of technology, it really is nice. But the only downside of this real car is the range. The range just isn't that great, but it's the performance four-wheel motor vehicle that takes away that range, and which that's the negative. That's one reason my wife just doesn't drive this car a lot. She has the anxiety range challenge. She gets in the car and she sees that all of a sudden it's under 100-mile range, and she just gets very concerned that she's going to be stuck on the side of the road. Which isn't going to happen, but yeah, you get it. So, all right, we're going to fight the traffic now. So, here we go. Now, one thing that they really talk about in managing your range on these electric vehicles in the winter months, colder months, is you don't want to have your actual heat on. They recommend you turn that off, and they recommend you use your heated steering wheel, your heated seat, and your heated steering wheel to keep you warmer, to conserve the energy, because in the winter months the electric heat just really drains these batteries. I'm not really too worried about it today, because I'm dropping this car off to be serviced. But if I was on a long road trip, I would probably maybe use that. But even though these electric cars, they can be really cold, like that F-150 Lightning truck, it just seems to be cold all the damn time. You drive down that road in the winter months, and even when you kind of really put the heat on, it still doesn't seem to do a very good job. Now this Mach-E, it's so attached to the road. It's just this is such a tight vehicle, and it's so many ways to me like a high performance car. I mean, it just handles the corners like you can't believe it. It's like glue on the road. This is a really bad road, so anybody's kind of watching, yeah, but you're kind of bouncing around a lot. Yeah, because this is a taut suspension, and we're on really a bad part of the road. That's going to be one thing on my new GT Mustang, is when I come back home, there's a really bad section of road, and how is the car going to handle that? Is it going to absorb the bumps, or is it going to be like, wow, this thing is just really not great? So we're getting close. See that flag way up there? There's Coons Baltimore Ford. All right, now when you get into this car, it does give you some noise, so it is kind of neat. And what do they have here today that will make me want to buy something, right? How do I escape Coons Baltimore Ford today without buying something. And so there's a McLaren. I mean, do they have... Oh, there it is. There it is. So, wow. Even for me, I'm kind of like, is that been lowered? I mean, it has, but it's good in some aspects, but is it radical in others? So I got to get up to that car, and I'm going to have to get the keys to be able to switch out. Okay, here we are, the big moment of truth for the Ford Mustang 2024 Vapor Blue GT. Was it worth it? And Dave here at Coons Baltimore Ford, thank you so much. He took really good care of me. Eric, the mechanic in the back shop. Look at this here. What do you think, huh? Does it look right? Do I need bigger tires? Am I just being too particular? Now, the question is, I can't remote start it because it's a manual. So we got to get into it and start it to hear the real deal. All right, the moment of truth. Jeez. Okay, hey, that's pretty cool. Here we go. Oh boy. Wow. Oh, look at the short shifter. Wow, look at this. It is short, man. Look at that. So it's fast. Oh man, that feels good. The guy did this job. He did it right. Wow. Look at that. What do you think of that there, huh? Is it right? Wow. All right, let's pull this car down and we'll get out and we'll listen to it here in a second. I'm gonna go down my other car and there's my sales guy, Derek. So I go to my other car and I gotta unload it. All right, Jesus Christ. So my sales guy, Derek, is like, man, the cold start really gave this thing more of an attitude. So this is the exhaust right now, with it now kind of being warmed up. But here's the car, here's the look, and was it worth it? So now really the riding time now is gonna be the real question. Going down the road. And the good news is I really got a great deal on the labor on this. So this car, I'm not like really that big into the expense if I just spent on this car to lower it with the parts. Short shifter I think is pretty cool, and the exhaust. So do me a favor, hold my phone while I give it some exhaust. Just keep it going right there, and tighten up on post here. Wow! All right, yeah, that's some snap, crackle, pop. Wow. Okay, taking her home. 2024 Mustang GT with the Ford Performance package, and I just put the Steda lowering springs all the way around the car. I just put the front and rear stabilizer, or I should say stabilizer bars, or whatever you want to call them. Just put in the Roush rear exhaust. Just put in the H pipe on the car as well. And I've done a short shifter Steda as well. So what's your thoughts on the new Ford Mustang GT that I just modded by lowering it, Vapor Blue, tinting out the windows, and here's the short shifter right there. So what's your thoughts? Did I improve the look of the car? And we'll do some riding down the road here, so just stay tuned.